want you both to weigh in on this. This video caught everybody's eye. Caught my eye today, too. Senator Orrin Hatch getting into an elevator on Capitol Hill, met by protesters. We've seen this week and last week before. And let's just say he did not have the Jeff Flake reaction. Watch this.
Why aren't you brave enough to talk to us and exchange it with us? Don't you wave your hand at me. I wave my hand at you.
When you grow up, Robinson.
When I grow up, we grow up. How dare you talk to women that way? How dare you? How dare you?
I mean, that hand wave, Joan. He's retiring, so maybe he doesn't care. But I mean,
he doesn't care. He doesn't care. But that's an ad that Democrats are going to run. The other thing today that I saw as a potential ad, it was like a portrait. It was like an old oil portrait of the 5 or 6 old white male senators who gathered together today to tell us why the FBI had exonerated Judge Kavanaugh and to cry bitter tears for the wrong that was done to Judge Kavanaugh and express virtually no, if any at all, sympathy for the experience of Dr. Ford. Women saw that. Women will see that in campaign ads. It's really a terrible look for them.
I don't know, Scott, you know Mitch McConnell.
You know Mitch McConnell
very well. I just don't see him reacting that way. I think he's more politically astute than to react that way.
Yeah, well, this video was interesting. I mean, if you think fussing at Orrin Hatch and blocking his elevator is going to change Orrin Hatch's mind, then you don't know Orrin Hatch. I saw that the group that posted this video, I mean, he is who he is. I mean, the group that posted this video is called Vote Pro-Choice. And the Vote Pro-Choice group, of course, that tells you everything you need to know about what their aims are here, and it's about abortion politics. Something Joan said that I think is interesting. I see this in my Twitter feed all the time. It's this ageism. In a midterm election, older voters make up a larger proportion of the electorate than they do in presidential elections. And I keep hearing people say, old white men, old white men. Well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of older voters go to the polls. And I think when I hear people like Joan and other liberal Democrats sort of attack people for being old, I wonder how that's sitting out there with older voters of any political stripe. The idea that because you're old, you're not supposed to have an opinion about national affairs, I don't think that's going to sit well.
I don't really think that's at all what I was saying. I do think that for both parties...
You did say that. That was exactly what you said. You said old white men.
I did say that, but I'm not saying that they have no place in our democracy. I'm saying that a party that is trying to represent the half of us that are women...
No, you just said their opinion is worthless. You said their opinion's worthless.
I didn't say their opinion was worthless. I said it's a terrible look for a party that wants to represent more than half of the country, the part of the country that isn't white, and the part of the country that's young. A healthy political party, Scott, and you know this deep down in your heart too, would have more younger people in it. It would have more women. There would be women in that picture with them arguing their own smart politics for their districts, but they would be women. They would be representing themselves. You are stuck with a situation just like in that Judiciary Committee hearing last week, where you have 11 old white men who are not capable of handling a woman like that with respect.
Men. I tell you what, keep antagonizing the nation's older voters. It's not going to turn out well for the Democrats. You keep doing it.
Democrats are looking at a surge of younger voters to the polls, and I think it's only fair that we have some representation of younger people. I'm 60 years old, Scott. I'm not saying push people out onto an ice floe. I just think that your party has a real problem with locking out women and people of color and young people out of leadership positions. And in your heart of hearts, you know that too, even if you think it's kind of cool that old people vote in the midterms, which they do. We'll see.
One thing I will say.
It's cool. First of all, I think it's cool for anyone to vote. I think it's especially cool when people vote in any state, in any jurisdiction. And I think everybody's vote counts the same, old and young. And I think everybody ought to vote, because if they do and they listen to these arguments, I think they're going to come down on the side of the Republicans in this election.
I think good plug. I also think it would be very cool if instead of this moment seeing more division, as we saw play out in an elevator with Orrin Hatch, or we see in how Republicans and Democrats are talking about this report, I would love to see. It would also be very cool if, for once, instead of doing more to divide the country, the Senate could take the lead on trying to unite the country. But again, apparently my name is Pollyanna tonight. Great to see you both. Thank you.